Hey doing, everyone. Welcome back. Well, we're hearing it again. We heard it in 2016. We heard it in 2020. In fact, we've heard it all along. Donald Trump was anointed by God himself to be President of the United States. Was he? Was he really? And if your God is so weak that he couldn't keep his anointed candidate in office, why would you worship a God like that? Let me ask you that. Chosen by God. Right. What if I told you God isn't interested in American politics? What if I told you he's not interested in politics at all? What if I told you if you're reading the Bible and it's supporting every single political opinion you have, you're reading it wrong? What if I told you that the United States is not God's favorite nation? And that the American people are not God's chosen people? Would you believe it? If you read your Bible, you would, or at least you should. And yet, a lot of people who claim to be Christians, Bible-believing Christians, a whole lot of negative things to say about Jewish people, don't they? That's funny because the Bible has a lot of positive things to say about the Jews. So maybe stop the anti-Semitism, because I don't think the God that you think you worship would approve based on the book that you use to justify your beliefs. And by the way, if you saw the camera wiggle just now, that was my buddy George. You've met him in one other video. That he's camera shy, but he just jumped up behind the camera there. Anyway, I got sidetracked on two counts. George sidetracked me on one, and I got off on the anti-Semitism thing there. God and politics. Well, maybe it's true that God did choose Donald Trump to be president of the United States. If that's true, and your God is as powerful as you believe he is, it's the same God that I believe in, he is that powerful, why would he have let his chosen one be removed from office? Unless Joe Biden was chosen by God to replace Donald Trump. And then if you really want to get into it, you know that Kenyan Muslim? Yeah, that guy. Barack Obama. A guy that, I think I've told you this before, but I didn't vote for him either time. I voted for John McCain, and then I voted for Mitt Romney. I did not vote for Barack Obama. Then again, at the time I was a Republican, and my views were more to the right from what they are now. And in hindsight, Obama wasn't nearly as bad as I thought he was at the time. But again, sidetracked again. Let's get back on track here. if the same God that anointed Donald Trump President of the United States, if that God selected Donald Trump and made him President of the United States, not only, like I said a minute ago, did he also choose Joe Biden to replace him, but that means he chose Barack Obama twice. It means that he chose George W. Bush twice. It means that he chose Bill Clinton twice. It means that he chose George H.W. Bush once, but then chose for him to lose. Ronald Reagan was hand-chosen by God twice. Jimmy Carter, now this one I actually might believe, because if there's ever been a devout Christian man as President of the United States, Jimmy Carter is it. My opinion, not a great president by any means, but one of the greatest men to ever hold the office, especially as it pertains to his Christian faith and living up to his professed faith. You want somebody who lives like a Christian? Jimmy Carter is your guy. Even well up into his 90s, he was still out there hammering nails for Houses for Humanity. Yeah. But yeah, he was chosen by God in 1976 and then chosen to be removed from office by God in 1980, right? And we could keep going back. But it's nonsense. God doesn't choose political winners. You know who does? We do, the voters. The voters. So, if you're all upset that Kamala Harris is leading Donald Trump in the polls, or, maybe not in all the polls, but in certain polls in certain swing states, yeah, she's ahead. But then people saying, well, not to worry, Donald Trump is God's chosen one. You said that in 2020 as well, and he lost, right? But hey, you know what? Just keep believing that God already picked him and that you can't lose. I mean, in my state of Iowa, it is a very high likelihood that Donald Trump will win. Highly unlikely that Harris will win my state. Funny though, because Obama won it twice. But you know what? My neighboring states of Minnesota and Illinois I don't think has gone red since 1988. And Minnesota, the last time they went red was 1972 when Richard Nixon was reelected. Ronald Reagan didn't even win Minnesota either time, and Ronald Reagan won 49 states. At least in 1984 he did. So, if you think God chose Donald Trump to be president, why bother voting, right? It's in the bag. Quite frankly, I don't mind if you believe that, because that just kind of increases the odds of him losing again. My neighboring states of Minnesota and Illinois they're going to go to Kamala Harris. I believe that my neighboring state of Wisconsin will also go to Harris, but who knows at this point? It's kind of a toss-up still. But yeah, if God hand chose Donald Trump, how could he lose anywhere at all? How could he have lost 2020? God wouldn't have let his chosen one lose. The God I worship is much stronger than that. Then again, I don't believe that the God I worship is nearly as hands-on in this world as a lot of people seem to think he is. That's just my opinion, though. Give me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.